The match heats up in this week's episode of Baby Steps Season 2. Achan versus Arya. Set 2, or Round 2. This is looking rather intense and a bad situation because Arya, he's learning. He's straight up learning. I saw that at the end of this episode. I saw that, and we all probably caught on to what happened at the end of this episode of Baby Steps. Achan barely got that final point. Like, he straight up barely got that final point of set 2. And Arya slowly learning to change his pace. That's scary. This dude is making a lot of improvements in just this match that he's playing with Achan. It's kind of bad. That's really bad. This is going to put Achan in a spot in the third set. Because judging by how Arya was able to learn Achan's like moves and what he was doing in the second round, he's definitely going to be using that in the third round against Achan. And Achan, I think, I don't know, he's probably going to have to beat Arya at the skin of his teeth. Like, it's straight up going to be a very close match, judging by how the second round was done in this episode. Which is kind of surprising, actually. This entire round of Baby Steps, round 2, was in this entire episode. So, judging by the pacing we've been getting for these past couple episodes, it seems like each individual round is just going to be an episode. So, judging by statistics, I'm guessing next week's episode is going to conclude the Arya match between Achan. I wonder who is going to win, though. I really am curious about that, because there's many possibilities the mangaka can take the story if Achan was to lose next week. But we'll see on that. Thing is, though, the main point of this episode is Achan starting to be a little bit more cautious. Like, he's not trying to go all in. He's trying to actually be cautious, take his time, and, you know, control the tempo of the entire match. Like, he was slowing down the match, and then he was going fast with the match. He was just constantly changing how fast the match was running throughout this entire episode. For instance, he was throwing off Arya when he was playing, and this kind of makes a lot of sense if you think about it. Like, let's say if you were to be running, okay? Let's say you're a sprinter, or you're running. If you were to just start off with a, you know, a casual just jog, or, you know, a speed walk, you're just, you know, casually speed walking or jogging, and all of a sudden you start putting the pedal to the metal, and you're like, you know, fucking running as fast as you can, and then all of a sudden you have to stop, and you're like, that's gonna wear your ass out. That straight up is gonna wear your ass out, and your reaction time is gonna just diminish instantly like that, because of having to stop and go, and that's kind of what is going on in this episode. I mean, we got to see a good display of that in the narration of this episode with Achan. Like, he kept looking at the different things on the board of what's going on, and he's like, okay, so if I could slow it down here and go fast here constantly, it's throwing him off, because he gets in a set rhythm, and that's actually true. I mean, if you get in a set rhythm of, let's say, every morning you wake up, okay? And let's say you have your alarm to the right of you. You hit your alarm, and then you have, let's say, a drink over to the right of you on a table, and you grab your drink and drink it. I guess it's not the exact same thing, but it kind of is similar. It's like a rhythm. You're used to that pattern, that rhythm of getting up and doing that exact same thing in the exact same fashion with the exact same timing. That's kind of what Achan was doing. He was fucking with the rhythm to where Arya couldn't get a grasp of what was going on. Like, he couldn't get fully into the game because Achan was manipulating it to where he couldn't just get in a pace to where he's just, you know, hitting the ball back like it's nothing. And so I like the realistic nature of that in this episode of Baby Steps, but that's one of the main reasons why I think we all watch Baby Steps, is because of stuff like that. And Achan, good job, bro. Yeah, you're doing a good job. You're doing a really good job with, you know, Arya. He's made a massive improvement in just 1 year, man. Just one damn year, he's made this good of an improvement to verse Arya. I mean, he has done fucking phenomenal. Good job, Achan. I'm really happy for him. I really am happy for him to be able to do something like that in this episode, and just to see him demonstrate his skills with his control, to how far he has come, to also seeing how Arya has matured as a tennis player. Like, he managed to calm himself down. Like, when you see the ball that Achan hit, it was a fault. To us as the viewer, from what we saw, and probably from what, you know, Achan and Arya saw, the ball was a fault ball. Like, it went out of bounds. It was straight up out of bounds, and it was kind of bullshit. It was. But if we remember, this has happened before, and if you have the ball called by the ref says, like, you know, the ball was in, even though it wasn't, you can't argue with the ref. That's the end of fucking discussion. That happened in the previous match with Artia. Remember, Artia got really upset, and it goes to show you how he has learned and how he has changed from when he fought Achon in the beginning. He's learned to control his anger, his rage, and suppress it where it's not so out there and open and controlling his mind or he can't do well at all. And so that really goes to show in this episode of how much he has improved. And also, one thing I really liked about this was that Achon and Artia were having a lot of fun. And this was a big point of the episode that I really need to mention, because as we found out a couple episodes back, if you're fighting an incredibly strong opponent or a match that has a lot of things going behind it, usually you're having fun at it. And that's kind of what this match or this episode of Baby Steps really means. Achon and Artia are going up against each other, and this match determines a lot for both of them as people to take the journey of their lives. And so, good job for demonstrating something so epic between these characters. Like, the studio that's doing this right now, it's fucking great. I love how they did that at the end of this episode with how they're having fun and stuff. So, yeah. Tell me your thoughts. How do you feel about this week's episode of Baby Steps? Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? How do you feel about everything that happened? I love you all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.